Beyond Flying. A warm welcome from sunny Berlin. My name is Daniel Stecher, Vice President Business Development, IBS Software. And it's a big, big honor to have today two speakers from Turkey, from SunExpress, Kamile and Suna. And it was quite a coincidence because I hosted twice Ladies Beyond Flying Aviation Women panel. And one I hosted in the office where Suna was sharing her desk with Sevin. And all the time she was hearing what I was talking, but she couldn't hear what Ladies Beyond Flying, and we had the presentation from Aviation at that time, were saying. And after the Ladies Beyond Flying Aviation Women panel, we were speaking with each other, and I got to know that she was or is responsible for diversity and inclusion at SunExpress. And I thought, wow, why not getting her on stage and talking a little bit more about her experience? And the same day, I met Kamile. Kamile is also a very special guest to Ladies Beyond Flying because her boss, DJ, one of my favorite Dutch industry friends, recommended her to join Ladies Beyond Flying. So we met at the IOCC, and I asked her, maybe you want to make a talk some months later. And she on the spot said, yes, why not? And that's exactly how it came. So stage is yours, Kamile and Suna, and it will be interesting to learn your perspective on the aviation industry.
Thanks, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And hello, everyone. We are in the same room with Kamile today in SunExpress IOCC. It's DJ's room, by the way. Daniel called him, and he's not here today, and we are sharing this room with Kamile. Oh, nice to see you, Pelin. Hi. And hi, everyone. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Sheda. And also, I think Elisa is here. Yeah. We are very excited, by the way, because we talked this panel with Daniel, I think, at the end of last year, right? And time passed very quickly. And today we are introducing ourselves. And also, Daniel, that was really very good coincidence for me that I met with you in my room. And thanks for inviting me to this great community. I'm really glad to be a part of this team.
And we are glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Thank you. And let me introduce myself first. That's Suna Colak. I'm living in Antalya in Turkey. I moved Antalya from capital of Turkey in Ankara 4 years ago. It was beginning of 2019. And I came here from totally different industry, from telecommunication industry. And I decided to change my career path and join SunExpress. I totally changed my life in the beginning of 2019. I changed my city, my company, my career, my social life, everything. So that was a kind of very good milestone in my career, in my social life, I can say. And as I said, I started my career in telecommunication industry in 2003. I graduated from Ankara University. And then I had an MBA degree in different university in Ankara. And in 2003, my career journey started. I was started in a totally different function. I want to explain this because I think it has reshaped all my vision and all my career. I started my career in international relations department. It was totally female dominant function at Turkish Telecom at that time. And I really had very much fun in that team. I even have close relationship with those women recently. And that was really reshaped my whole vision, all my career, because I saw how women can support each other and how women can be creative and how they can enlarge their vision, they enlarge their perspective, and also how they can share their emotions, their business. So that was a totally, I can say, as a kind of school for me. So after all my career at this first initial phase, I really supported women. That because that was I felt that it's a kind of sorry Daniel for saying this, it's not a kind of positive discrimination, but I really felt this support in my heart. So that's in my whole career. I'm trying to support especially young ladies who are starting their career and trying to have a kind of path in their career, in their life. So that's a good sharing in this phase. So, and after 4 years working in international relations department, I changed my function and I moved to supply chain and procurement department. And in that department, my career turned into different, how can I say, transition, because I found myself a totally different atmosphere, male dominant atmosphere, a kind of, how can I say, people who are doing their job very manually and very hierarchical way. So that was a kind of different situation I faced, because in my first experiences, I thought everything is going through very easy. But then this transition showed me that sometimes in business, some things can be very difficult. So that was a different milestone for me, and that was the time I was appointed to lead a change management process, because in that procurement and supply chain department, our company at that time decided to move all manual processes to the digital environment. And it needs not only technological change, but also change in people's minds. So it was a kind of total transformation program, because in the first phase of this change, we saw many resistance, many denial. But after supporting people with good technologies, good trainings, and positive behaviors, we saw that we achieved that change management. So it was a kind of achievement, and it was awarded very fast go live project at that time. It was 2007. So that was also another milestone in my career life, because after that milestone, I generally lead transformation and change management projects. Because when you change technology, when you change people's mind and processes, and giving them some space to express themselves and contribute to this process, involve this process, you see that atmosphere is automatically transforming in a positive environment. And also it's affecting all the results of business. And you see, and also when you are reporting some data, some numeric things, and also giving people some feedback about the results of the outcome of their job, people see the transparency, people see the development or missing parts, and this is really a kind of quick wins for people if they see the outcome and the results of this change. So after that initial phase, as I said, I managed many transformation projects in supply chain and procurement functions. And then after more than 10 years in procurement and supply chain, I decided to change my city, my career, my business, and I got a good proposal from SunExpress. And then I joined this great company, this great family. And maybe I can give some small introduction to my colleagues about SunExpress. SunExpress was founded a joint venture between Lufthansa and Turkish Airlines in 1989. And as it's hidden in its name, it is SunExpress. We are all related with Sun because we are carrying people from Europe to sunny Antalya and sunny Anatolian cities. And our main headquarters is Antalya and Frankfurt. One is located in Turkey, one is located in Germany, and one of our biggest hub is also in Izmir, in the Aegean coast of Turkey. And also in 2022, SunExpress has been awarded as the world's best leisure airline by Skytrax. So we are very proud of this award. And yes, for the last 4.5 years, I'm working for SunExpress. And again, in SunExpress, I started my career in procurement department, but after 2 years later, I changed my department, my function. I totally out of my comfort zone, and I changed my function to strategy department, and now I'm working here as a strategy manager. And my main responsibility is implementing, executing, and supporting mid and long-term strategies for SunExpress. And again, it's very related to implementing change management and transformational strategies. So, although I changed my function, I think the core area of my career didn't change. And yes, I'm still managing change. So. Today also we talked a bit about how we can manage the session and how we can give you some quick introduction about ourselves, and we decided to mention this change management in IOCC. Yes, and now I'm giving the words to Kamile.
Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank you, Daniel, for inviting me to this session, because I feel lucky that I have a chance to have a virtual meeting with lots of experts in aviation, and I feel very lucky that I am sitting next to Suna and listening her experiences.
Thank you.
I don't have a long experience because I just graduated 2 years before from Aviation Management Department in Turkey. After that, I had an internship in Dalaman Airport as operational supervisor, let's say. So I saw the passenger side in airport. After that, I changed my department to the marketing. But it was kind of related with aviation again, because I was marketing a distance learning platform for aviation security related based software to Gulf countries. And then after that, I applied SunExpress because it's a very pointed company in Turkey as an airline. And then I started to work in OCC. I saw that the male-dominated office, and I was afraid of working there. And also my department was just training, so I was afraid that I couldn't set myself just for training. And then I increased my responsibilities to safety and compliance. But this is all support from my manager, DJ. He is so supportive, and he started this change of management of IOCC. Then we started all change, all personnel. I started to work here 1 year before. After 3 or 4 months, I changed my position, and also our management changed, our ways of working changed. And now I am responsible for increasing safety awareness in IOCC, comply with regulations. I am working with compliance monitoring department closely, and the training also, my all tasks. I am following the dispatchers line qualification trainings. That's all from my side now. Now we will talk about the change of management, because Suna knows everything about change of management.
Not everything, it's a small part, let's say.
I am a small witness for change of management, because after I started to work in company, I changed how handling change of management.
Yes, now I want to share my screen, because we have prepared a kind of small documentation for you. Yes, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so it's a kind of mathematical formula, And maybe you think, what is the relation between change of this formula? And I think everyone heard this. This Peter Drucker says culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? So even we have very good intentions, targets, and good strategy to reach our objectives. If we don't, if our culture doesn't support us in this journey, it is not possible to achieve it. So this formula is basically showing us how we can manage this change, because if we want to change people's behavior, we have two components. This function shows these two components. One of them is personality, and the other one is environment, the system we are operating in. So as you assume that we have limited effect on changing people's personality. It's very limited. Even, for example, we are studying on ourselves. I think it really takes so much time to change even a small behavior. But if we change the environment and the system we are operating in, we are running in, we are in, so I think we have chance to see the change in people's behavior. So that's why I want to show you this formula from Kurt Lewin. He's a well-known social psychologist, and I think I think everyone, each of us, maybe observe this kind of behavioral change if we change the environment. For example, I want to give you some example about this. For example, if in my previous company, I was working in more hierarchical structures. And at that time, I observed that people's behaviors are totally reshaping themselves in this hierarchical atmosphere. When people trying to express themselves, for example, they're always looking at the others and trying to obey the rules of those hierarchical levels. But if you change the environment, if you give people more non-hierarchical organizations, and if you give people some space to express themselves, I really observe that their attitude, their working style, and their perspective, their vision are changing. So this formula is really supporting this argument. And also, I wanna just one second. I couldn't skip the other page. Sorry for this. What happened?
Frozen.
Okay. Yeah. And also, last year, we have a very good change management process with one of the consultant company. Their name was Train Consulting. I want to refer them because I will use their formula because in this change management process we need energy to change, right? Because if people doesn't have enough energy to change, even if it's in our personal life, we couldn't change anything. So, for this energy, we need some vitamins, some elements, and this formula consisting some multipliers. If just one element is missing, then you get zero effects, and the results will be zero. So the first element is driver dissatisfaction. In this part, we need to explain people why this change is necessary and why it's meaningful for them for this process. And if people don't understand this reason, this rationale, generally we see at somewhere at T moment of the process, it may have failed. So please take this formula as consideration, because I think especially maybe you would remember Simon Sinek's some videos that this why is really crucial importance in this process. So and the second element of this formula is vision for change, because although you give people the meaning of why we are changing, why we need to change for this company, for this personal development, I think we also need to give people some space to understand our vision. if people imagine where we are going to, and at the end of the process, where we reach, I think they will most probably involve the process. Otherwise, if they don't see the results and outcomes, they won't involve the process. So this second element of change process explaining us where we are going to and the vision of our change. So this is the second element. The third element is resources, because even, as I said, even we have good technologies and the best technologies, if we don't have enough resources, for example, human resources, if we don't have budget, if we don't have other elements, I think, again, we will miss somewhere. So in this part, we need to give people to understand which resources will support this process, and how we will assign these resources, how we will manage them. So these kind of answers we should give people. And the last stage, I think people needs to see some quick wins. If we show them how we have some actions in this process and show them some quick wins, how we handle this process, I think they will see the easiness of the change management. Otherwise, they will fear it. They will scare of it. So this is the formula of change. And as I said, these are all multipliers. Even just one element is missing, you will get the zero effect. So I want to share this formula with you. And then I want to ask some questions to Kamile about their journey in IOCC. So yes. Kamile, maybe you can, and I don't know if you want to see the formulas, but maybe I can share other screens. So could you please share us what would be your driver for this change?
Actually, the driver was what triggered us. It's actually the word change, because the technology changed very rapidly and ways of working changed very rapidly. So we thought that we need to change, because SunExpress OCC was working for 30 years in the same way. Yes, of course, we are updating our technological or softwares, etc. But we thought that we need to change, and we need to comply with the word of change.
So it's a kind of preparation for the future, right? As I understood.
Yes. We need to prepare ourselves for the future, because we clearly saw that after pandemic, everything is changing very quickly, and we need to adapt very quickly. And also, if you are working in a very crowded office, it's very hard to comply with the other people.
By the way, it's open office. I don't know if you are aware of it, but here is an open office, and all the operation people are working in this atmosphere. And you're right, it's very crowded. Yes. Not today, and not that at that time, but generally it's very crowded.
Yes. Earlier we were working about 30 people, but now we are, if I am not wrong, more than 106 people, because we are working with other departments, with our stakeholders very closely. As you can imagine, in a flight operation, you can imagine that how many calls we are getting from ground operations on the technical side, or from the crew. So we thought that we need to combine, and we need to collect all departments under one roof, to how can I say, decreasing the communication-based mistakes, because it's loss of time to lost during the communication. But if they are working with us, we don't need the time for communication and manage the operation, handle irregularities. So that's why we started to
trigger this.
Yes, this was the triggering our change of management.
So, and you explained this why to all IOCC people, and after they understand, they involve the process, as I understood, right?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the elements of this formula is working here. So, and the second element was vision. So, what was your vision? How would you describe it?
I want to explain our vision with DJ's summary sentences. It's follow innovation, digitalization, and new technologies with systematical approaches, and we want to ensure that SunExpress IOCC will become an industry leading company and department in SunExpress. So we put our innovation, and we write it everywhere so people can see and adopt us.
I thought people had many questions, maybe why we are changing this, and maybe your vision before was different, and that was totally
Yes.
yeah.
It was all unclear because our aim was to put digitalization, diversity, technologies, everything more in IOCC.
Mhm.
But people was thinking that just prepare a flight plan and file to the ATC unit, and that's all. And watch the operation. But now we are trying to close all manual things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you are digitalizing your processes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each
Okay.
process we are.
And do you have also a kind of change in your system, in your technical parts?
Yes, not yet, but we are thinking about
You're planning.
changing. Yes.
Okay.
Not change, but we will upgrade it. But it's kind of change again.
Okay. So
Yes.
by the way, I'm asking questions, but also ladies and Daniel, you can ask other questions. Please interrupt us because it will be a kind of monologue between us otherwise.
Yeah,
Please interrupt
my
us.
first question would be,
Yeah.
because we were talking so many times about DJ,
Yeah.
and SunExpress is a joint venture between Germany and Turkey, and now is a Dutch coming to Antalya. So, and the Dutch are known to be very direct. So, how much Dutchness is now also in this IOCC?
Actually, I feel very much because yes, how can I explain? I don't know, but I can feel that Dutch people affected us very much because they are all clear. They just make a decision and apply. But in Turkey, it is not like this because you need to do something with asking to others. It's our culture. You cannot decide on something without other people's opinion. If I'm not
But
wrong.
but
Kinda.
and then I think that function, that mathematical function is working because he changed the environment
Yes.
and all behaviors and all the spaces is changing.
Because we cannot change. We have a Turkish culture. So yes, he tried to change our all tools used, our environment, and our style of working, etc.
And but I see that people are open and eager to change, and they have a good intent for this journey. So yeah, that's a kind of supportive culture as I seen. Yeah.
Yes. Nobody was like, no, we don't want to change our system or etc. Everybody was enthusiastic for change.
And Kamile, I remember when we met the first time, I had somehow in my mind that you are a fresh joiner to the industry. You had, of course, your, let's say, expectations from aviation. There's maybe a brand image from the industry. You came to SunExpress. Now you are in the reality. So how much is really true, what you expected, what is beyond expectation, and what is completely different?
Actually, SunExpress and actually IOCC beyond my expectations because in 1 year I didn't learn such kind of experiences because I changed my position, I took much more responsibilities, and also I saw that how people can adapt a change, and also I adapt myself to changes. So it's very good for me. I meet all expectations and it's beyond.
I had no doubt because DJ recommended you to be part of Ladies Beyond Flying, and he knew the very important 4 major criteria. You need to be upbeat, smart, enthusiastic, and positive. And I think everybody can see that you are exactly meeting these 4 criteria.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. Really happy to hear kind of comments.
And we have one question from Rajni. Lovely session so far. Thank you. And question, how have you are overcoming mindset related challenges? Any tips to share? Are you directly asking IOCC related or general?
I think just in general, everyone. Yeah, just in general, because I mean, with my teams, we are also in middle of a transformation journey. And like you mentioned, it's more about what's driving the change, how people are really connecting to the change, do they really understand, and then they can contribute. So just from your experience so far, have you overcome or, are you facing similar challenges?
Yes. Yeah, very good question. Thanks for this question because I can talk on this element hours and hours, by the way, but I will keep my answer very short. Because first of all, my observation was if people and organization gets the EM support and executive management support, it really affects results. And also, the second element, if you give people really some space to express themselves and to take some initiatives on their own, not saying them always do this, do that, don't do this, but give them some space. It's also relaxing them, and they are involving in this process automatically. But on the other hand, generally, we should support people with some trainings, with some information, maybe some encouragement. And we are giving people trust. And always transparency and open communication has a positive effect in this process. If you share the results, even if negative or positive, people are affecting those kind of outcomes. And if you show them the missing parts and the development parts, and they are following up this process with you, I think in somewhere they are automatically again involving the process. So there are so much components of your questions. And also sometimes in the beginning, in the initial phase of this change, people generally resisting and denying the change, but you should give them some time because first of all, they should digest it. Maybe in some examples, you should repeat yourself 10 times or 100 times. I don't know. I don't know the atmosphere, and I don't know the deepness and intellectual levels of or maturity level of the organization, but you should repeat your messages many times. And overall of that, you should have a kind of change management plan. If you are managing this change with an unplanned situation, in somewhere you will stuck. But if you have a kind of communication plan, change management plan, if you know in which states what you should do, I think everything will be more easy for you. So that's kind of things. And also sometimes some social activities, some team building activities, some outdoor activities can work. These kind of things. So as I said, I can talk hours and hours, but if you have specific questions, Regina, also we can also discuss it.
Can I add something, Suna?
Of course, yeah, of course.
And also, I think it's important to get ideas
Yeah.
from the people who has mindset.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If you apply their idea, and then if they can see what is the result, and if you apply your ideas and they can see what is the result,
absolutely.
So it very works, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because
I can relate to a lot that you mentioned. So I agree. There's so much that we can cover on this topic, but thank you so much for sharing your experience.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But anytime you can ask me via my email. I'm really enjoying to managing this change process and also sharing my experiences. Yeah.
Thanks.
And Suna, you were also mentioning that you were responsible for the diversity and inclusion initiative
yes.
at SunExpress. And maybe this is also how did you somehow foster the change in this topic?
Yeah, okay. So I'm a member. I'm only a member of this diversity and inclusion board in SunExpress. It was totally a volunteer community in SunExpress and established in the beginning of 2022, 1.5 year passed. And we are very new in this process, to be honest. But we are trying to handle on our own way. For example, first we started to define some policy and procedure for diversity and inclusion. And then we started to discuss some new terminology about diversity, inclusion, and maybe some other issues related of this topic. And then we assigned some trainings to the people and to increase their awareness about diversity and inclusion. But as I said, although it's a kind of volunteer community, everyone has a good intention to have a kind of development in this area because we are an international airline and we have 37 different nationalities here. So it's not always gender-based or nationality-based or other things, but if you start to increase awareness in somewhere, I think more people are involving in this process. So as I said, always supporting people with some trainings and giving them some space to discuss all these terminologies and supporting some behaviors. For example, we are using some titles in Turkey, hanım and bey, and those are reflecting some hierarchical levels, and we are trying to remove those titles from our names. Those kind of initiatives we are trying to take. So these are the small examples, but we are very keen to increase that awareness. Yeah.
Kamile, I remember you were saying earlier you were having a very high respect and let's say not negative feeling, but you were thinking, oh, I will now come to a male-dominated IOCC. Now
Yes.
you're there since a year, and there is the Diversity Inclusion Initiative at SunExpress. You can already sense some changes and little things which are different than a year ago.
I cannot say that we changed completely because in Turkey, I remember the same situation when I was starting the university. I asked my teacher that how can I manage aviation management because it's all male-dominated university college. So how can I handle this? He told me that you can. And then I started, but it was hard. But in SunExpress, with the steps that Suna Hanım and her team takes in diversity, I feel that we handled it because OCC is really male dominated, but we started to hire new women dispatchers or etc. the other positions. So I feel that the sex equality is going better, but the other things also, the nationality, everything is going to be equal. So I don't feel the male dominated atmosphere in OCC, not anymore.
And I think again the formula is working, right? Because I think they are changing the environment and the behaviors are changing. So
yes.
Yeah, that's always working.
Yes.
I remember when we had, let's say, the strongest impact from the pandemic, we were losing a lot of talent from the industry. And there was also the big fear that the industry, with the outdated technology and the heavy processes and all that stuff, will not be attractive enough for new joiners to bet on this industry and to go somewhere else. Now we see Kamile bet on the aviation horse, and I sense that you like the race and the pace and all that stuff. Can you give maybe also some advice to other current students who are contemplating to come to the aviation industry? Something, little hints here and there, which you believe could be helpful for them to also succeed like you do?
Actually, I want to suggest that don't focus on your decisions. Just live the moment because when you start to the aviation, you learn where to go, where should you go, what you should do. If I want to work in IOCC, I wouldn't know that I love working in OCC. Maybe I want to a pilot or etc. But when I started to work in OCC, I realized that really I like the operation side. I love the 72 hours windows of operation. So I suggest that they don't need to fear of anything and just start to be in aviation.
Suna, I remember when I sat in your office for the second time, we had a very personal conversation and so on. We were talking about some books. Can you give maybe some book recommendation which helped you to succeed in change management, but also in your own personal career? Maybe other ladies want to read the same books.
Yeah, not directly specific with change management, but I totally recommend this Kotler's marketing management because it includes many things about business environment, and also it's a very supportive document for each function. That's I highly suggested for everyone, not only marketing department, but also each department. And also, as I said, Peter Drucker's some management books are very essential in this part because it's also have a kind of base for academic research and also some practical examples about the management. So, and also there are some sources like Gartner, like other resources in web about change management toolkits. So maybe I can share specifically if they want to have in their hands. Yeah, those kind of resources I can recommend.
And if you allow, I would like to connect you to my mentee, Suna. We are both Women in Aviation and Logistics mentorship program
Cool.
attendees, and she is also currently working on change management, and maybe you can support each other, and
Absolutely.
That would be good.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be a good collaboration. Yeah. Thank you.
Are there further questions from the audience, ladies?
Carlene, yeah.
Carlene, please. Good to see you.
Hi, Suna and Kamile. Thank you so much. Kamile, I'm going to answer one of your questions. Yes, SunExpress is going to be a great company. It already is. The fact you guys are doing this. Clearly, upper level, highest level management supports this change, correct? Or you wouldn't be doing it. How do you get a company when your top level management, maybe the top 3 levels, and even the board sits silent, but everyone at the top is completely adverse to change? They're not going to do it. They speak a good story. They present a lot of marketing, what a wonderful company they are, but ultimately they're not. How do you create change if you don't have top company support?
That's a tough question, huh?
Yeah, that's very, yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Off with their heads.
Which country we didn't say Aviation Women's Panel is a children's birthday. We have also some tough questions here.
So I can answer with my perspective if you want. Maybe then you can continue. Okay. Then. Because as I said, top management and especially the sponsor support is very crucial in this process, because if you don't get that support in somewhere in team moments, I think you feel a kind of missing part. So how you can get their support? I think you need a kind of rationale to explain them why you need this change and why you need this support. If they really believe and they really invest this process, they will see the results. And I think the most important thing to plan the quick wins, not plan the long-term wins, but plan the quick wins. Because if they see how you are managing this short cycles and how you can reach outputs in, for example, in first quarter, in second quarter, or monthly wins maybe, I think they will support you. Otherwise, yeah, from my observations, if you don't get top management level support in somewhere, because some department will ask them if they will support this process, and if they feel that it is missing, I think they won't involve the process. So it will be a kind of disadvantage. Yeah. I hope I answer your question.
Is the short answer not, it will not succeed without top management support, it will not fly?
That's the summary. That's the summary. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions from the audience? Sharina, you asked a question. Great topic, eager to know frameworks used for applying change management techniques.
Yeah, thank you, Suna and Kamile. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
A very important and very interesting topic. Thank you for covering this. I'm really interested to know what kind of frameworks you apply. There must be standard frameworks that are applied for change management purposes. So if you are able to speak on them, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for these questions. Yes, you're right. You can use some toolkits from the industry, from different industries, but it depends on what kind of change management process you need. For example, in my previous company, I was leading a kind of ERP and strategic sourcing systematic transformation. That was the systematic implementation process. And we were using, and for example, SAP change management tool. They have a kind of specific phases, and they have some kits in those phases, and we are using those tools. But here we are using totally different tool in SunExpress. So I think depends on your needs and depends on the process you are trying to change. But on the other hand, even if you have some toolkits from industry or other industries or whatever it is, I think you need to adapt those toolkits into your company's DNA. Otherwise, that can be a kind of external resource and maybe your body won't accept it. So anyway, if you have a toolkit or not, I think you need to inject it to your DNA. That would be my suggestion.
Okay, thank you. Would you be open to, if I contacted you further for further questions and deep dive on some of these? On
Of
practical,
course.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of
Thank
course. If you have a kind of meeting or setting a time, I would be very happy to share my experiences. Kamile said very open things that I know everything about change, but I want to emphasize that I have very limited information about change. It's depending on my personal interest and my personal experiences. But I'm very happy to share all the information that I have.
Thank you. And change is always the hardest, of course. So just that because you're managing change, that shows that how capable you are of transitioning teams through the process. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
I believe the only constant in life is change. So I think that's why change management is so crucial. And I was also very grateful when you were talking about technology, and it's all about the change management. And my experience is that exactly when it comes to implementing new IT systems, this component is pretty much neglected. So that's why I think that was a fantastic talk today. And I liked what I was hearing, and I'm so glad that I could convince you to be on stage. And I hope that you will get also many more deep dive requests, like you got already one from Sharina. So we are at the end of this Ladies Beyond Flying Aviation Women panel. I think fantastic presentation, Suna and Kamile. So we are looking forward to the upcoming one in June, and then we have another one in July. And we're currently organizing a pilots panel in August. So if you know a pilot from the industry, please let us know, because we want to bring as many as possible pilots to this pilots panel. And please stay healthy and safe. And if you know a colleague who shall join Ladies Beyond Flying, we are only too short of 1,000. So we have 998 members. And it would be, of course, fantastic to have Ladies Beyond Flying crossing this next milestone. Thank you again, Suna and Kamile, and I wish you a nice rest of the day in Antalya. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.